A search for a new school chief will soon get underway in Prince George's. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Dr. Monica Golson is leaving the Prince George's school system.
After careful thought, prayer, and discussions with my family, I have decided that at the end of this school year, I will move to my next journey in life, retirement.
The announcement came as a surprise to many this morning. Dr. Golson not only graduated from PGCTV, but she spent her entire 32-year career working in the school system, 5 years as school CEO. I caught up with Dr. Golson and asked her why now.
My contract is coming to a close at the end of June. And while I'm sure I could have reached out to our county executive to ask for an extension, because she has been extremely supportive around my tenure for the past 5 years and helping to move Prince George's County Public Schools forward, I had gotten to a point where I believed that the continued dysfunction of the board was a clear indication to me that our vision for Prince George's County Public Schools was no longer aligned.
Dr. Golson is credited with a number of things during her tenure as school CEO, to include getting 10 new schools built in 4 years, creating a nationally recognized climate change action plan that will reduce the school system's carbon footprint, and inking a massive pay increase for educators and staff. Now, speaking of the historic pay raise deal Dr. Golson helped achieve for teachers, CTV spoke to the president of the county's Educators Association about the announcement and what happens next.
It's pretty big that she's retiring, and, congratulations on such a big decision. What's next is we start a search, right, for the next CEO/superintendent. It's hopefully we'll do a nationwide search. Obviously, as the representative for the largest group of our labor force in the school system, we hope we have a seat at the table for that decision-making process, because it's really important that we have a strong partnership with the next superintendent going forward.
The school CEO is appointed by the county executive. The latest COVID-19 numbers come as health experts warn about the new Omicron variant. Known as XXB 1.5, officials say it's the most transmissible subvariant to date. XXB 1.5 now makes up more than 40% of new COVID cases in the United States. In Maryland, the state's health department has confirmed more than 1,300 new cases. The positivity rate in Prince George's County has eased to 18.76%. 17 Marylanders have died of COVID over the past 24 hours, and 870 people are hospitalized. Prince George's police are conducting a death investigation after a body was discovered in Hyattsville last night. It happened at the 2600 block of Kirkwood Place. Police say a man was found bleeding from the mouth outside of a vehicle with the door open. The man, who reportedly lived in the area, has not been identified. You're watching CTV News. I'm Taylor Thomas. Back in a moment.
We've been here for more than 36 years, at the forefront of a quest that many consider science fiction. To understand the prevalence of life in the universe, because the discovery of life beyond Earth will lay the framework for humanity's next steps to the stars. We are the SETI Institute.
Good evening and welcome back. One teenager is dead, 4 others wounded in a shooting outside of a shopping center in Baltimore. It happened yesterday morning at about 11:15 at the Edmonston Village Shopping Center. The dead teenager has been identified as 16-year-old Deontay Dorsey. 2 17-year-olds, 2 18-year-olds, and a 16-year-old were wounded in a hail of at least 20 bullets. The advocacy group Moms Demand Action is calling on lawmakers to enact gun safety measures. So far, no suspects have been identified. Families of Capital Gazette shooting victims settled a lawsuit against the owners of the newspaper and the building where a gunman killed 5 people. Terms of the settlement were not disclosed for family members of Gerald Fishman, Rob Hassan, John McNamara, Rebecca Smith, and Wendy Winters. The lawsuit charged that the owners and building managers failed to provide adequate security for Capital Gazette employees. The gunman, Gerard Ramos, was sentenced in 2021 to 5 consecutive life sentences. He had a grudge against the newspaper and had repeatedly threatened employees. 20 years ago, an iconic entertainment venue in Largo was demolished. Now, an upcoming book seeks to honor the legacy of the Capitol Center through photos, stories, artifacts, and collectibles. The Laurel History Boys are working with the Pollen family producer Jeff Krulik and the University of Maryland, but they are also asking for the public's help.
He came up with the idea to base it on the parking lot of the Capitol Center, where it was 4 different sections. You know, they had the Liberty Bell, the Eagle, the Stars and Stripes, and the Capitol Dome. And we thought visually, like, that gives us 4 chapters, if you will. And we thought the 4 things that we could divide this into are the building itself, the concerts, of course, sporting events, and then the things that kind of get categorized as miscellaneous. You had ice capades, circuses, monster truck shows, and that sort of thing.
It's not going to be just an historical narrative. We want to talk to a lot of fans. But I'm also in the process of trying to contact a lot of the celebrities, a lot of the athletes, if you will, whoever had a hand, who would have memories of stories, especially behind the scenes kind of stuff. A lot of employees we've talked to, quite a few, through the University of Maryland.
The Laurel History Boys say they can help scan or photograph any items you have related to the Capitol Center. For more information, log on to laurelhistory.com. A Metro employee has been arrested for operating a train while under the influence of alcohol. Damon Roberts was taken into custody following the December 23rd incident on the Blue Line in Virginia. Roberts reportedly bypassed the Van Dorn Street station stop. Officials say he then sat the train still on the tracks for about 30 minutes before dropping riders off at the Franconia Springfield station. He's been charged with driving while intoxicated, and he will not be allowed to return back to work. The Washington Metro Rail Safety Commission is investigating the incident along with Metro safety officials. Metro Transit police officers will now be carrying naloxone to help people who may be suffering from an opioid overdose. Naloxone, more commonly known as Narcan, is designed to rapidly reverse an opioid overdose. In 2021, Metro Police responded to 27 suspected overdose incidents. In 2022, that number increased to 43. Still ahead, sports and more right here after the break.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable.
The sad reality is fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
Good evening and welcome back. County police have arrested 2 teenagers for allegedly carjacking their rideshare driver in Landover. The 16 and 17-year-olds have been charged as adults with armed carjacking and firearm offenses. The victim said he was held at gunpoint Monday night at the 1500 block of Bellhaven Drive. The teens were arrested last night in Riverdale. Police recovered a ghost gun with an extended magazine and the victim's property. Maryland's Board of Public Works approves a settlement of claims against state police. Despite objections from Treasurer Derek Davis, the 3-member board approved a $75,000 settlement of a lawsuit involving claims of excessive force. The settlement involved Akeem Smith, who was arrested during a traffic stop in Cecil County in February of 2017. Smith filed the federal lawsuit after he said an officer ordered a police dog to bite his foot while he was detained. Davis raised concerns about the incident, saying it invoked images of the fight for civil rights. Some good news for American workers. You could see a slight increase in your paychecks. That's because higher federal income tax brackets and standard deductibles are now in effect. The IRS announced the new limits for 2023 due to painfully high inflation shift tax brackets by about 7%. The higher threshold also applies to the earned income tax credit, which increased by nearly $500. Prince George's State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy is being sworn in at this hour for her second term. This event is taking place at the Sheila R. Tillotson Adams Ceremonial Courtroom. During her investiture service, Braveboy is expected to highlight some of her accomplishments, such as her administration's 90% homicide conviction rate. Her address is also expected to outline her vision moving forward. Braveboy began her first term in January of 2019 and was re-elected this past November.
Good news surrounding Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin. He woke up this morning and was able to grip the hands of his family members. While Hamlin is still in critical condition, his lungs continue to heal and are making steady progress. Meantime, the Commanders' season hasn't gone exactly as planned, as they were officially eliminated from the playoff race following last Sunday's loss against the Cleveland Browns. Even though this season has been a disappointing one, fans may be getting a glimpse of the future. Sam Howell, a quarterback the Commanders selected in the 5th round of the 2022 NFL Draft out of the University of North Carolina, has been named the starter for the season finale against the Dallas Cowboys. This is the third quarterback the Commanders have had under center this season, with Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke previously starting. Howell spoke on what a successful start would be for him.
To win. Obviously the situation is what it is. We're kind of out of the whole playoff race, but, I don't take any games for granted. This game is the most important game of my life, and it should be the most important game of everybody on the team's life. It's our next game, and that's the mentality I have, and the mentality I'm trying to get across to my teammates as well. We're playing to win. No matter if we can't go to the playoffs, it's a game in the NFL. It's what we all work for. Coaches too. They all dreamed of coaching the NFL, so we're gonna go out there and give it our all.
Howell hasn't played a snap for the Commanders since the preseason, where he completed 62.3% of his passes for almost 8 yards per attempt. But a strong showing this Sunday could increase the chances of him being named the starter for the 2023 season. Moving on to college basketball, the University of Maryland men's basketball team will look to bounce back after a blowout loss versus the University of Michigan as they go up against Rutgers tonight at 6:30. And the Bowie State men's basketball team will also take the court tonight as they go up against St. Augustine's University at 7:30. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
All right, let's get a quick check now on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 42 degrees. Friday, mostly cloudy with a high near 49 degrees. Saturday, mostly sunny, highs near 46 degrees. Sunday's forecast, partly sunny with a high near 44 degrees. And now for our community calendar, calling all District 7 residents. Prince George's County Council member Crystal Orieta is hosting a community meet and greet January 26th at Creative Suitland. Come out with your entire family to meet your local leaders. The event starts at 6:30 p.m. To register, use the email right there on your screen. All right, that's a wrap up of our news tonight. Join us again tomorrow at 4:30. I'm Taylor Thomas. Good night.